Hi there, my name is Tom from FISICO, Alba International Physical Theater Festival. Take off my funny hat, and today I got a mystery behind me because one thing you don't know is as I'm visiting all these churches around the area of Piedmont, I'm taking some pictures for a website which is chiesaromaniche.it. I won't spell it to you because it will take too long, but anyway, and this one does not match. It says in the website, basically I'm sending the pictures of these churches to this website, which has mapped all the Romanic churches here in Piedmont. It's about I said like 1500, and apparently this church, which is kind of brand new, should have been built on top of a medieval church, but that's not matching. So I'm gonna ask them what's going on. But anyway, I took a couple of pictures. I'm gonna send them to this website. Today's topic is, can you take the pain? And I know it's kind of bizarre, but if you are in the performing arts, especially if you're working on the stage, especially if you're working in theater, I would say, boys, you have chosen one of the most painful jobs that exist in the world. And the people that I've seen that are successful, and definition of success in this case is, at least as far as I'm concerned, be able to get by, in your daily life with theater, make ends meet, so to speak. And that's it's very different from being successful as as a film star or whatever. Theater is completely different. But the people that actually can make it in theater, I think, are the people that can endure a massive amount of pain, because it is a painful experience. And especially if you're a performer, that is to say an actor who also writes his own or her own shows, depending whether you're male or female, it is a difficult and painful journey. And it's incredible, I mean, how many people that attend theater school, maybe with the best of intentions of making this professional life, and actually quit in the process. I remember I read this book once by a British actor, not somebody who's famous. That was an interesting book, but somebody who was working professionally as an actor. That has been working professionally as an actor for 40 years or something like that. The guy was like 65, whatever. And he was mentioned, he studied at RADA. Now, RADA, if you're British, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, it's a famous sort of acting school. And I think it was like he had like 20 people in his course or something like that, or 30, whatever. And basically, all of them quit except him. And it was quite an inspiring book. I think it was one of the few books that actually inspired me to become a pro, in my case. And basically, his story was the incredible amount of pain he did take for quite a number of years, working for small touring companies. It was a rural touring, I think it's called in the UK. Touring everywhere, cheap hotels. Almost not starving. And the guy was not starving, but basically was not living what would you call, the kind of life you kind of associate with being an actor. Let's put it that way. And going back to COVID, for example, for what is happening right now, I think the pros are going to stay. Actually, what is happening with this pandemic, it's going to sieve through the people who are here with the wrong purpose, for the wrong reasons. And sorry, I got to move because I think there's a car here. You got to be able to take an incredible amount of pain, and being a performer in a way is like being an entrepreneur. And you got to build a vision, and you really have to create your own fortune in a way. I don't know. You got to create something, which is not very useful, by the way. A famous Italian comedian, his name was Toto, always used to say this guy was very successful. Huh? He was like a clown, you could say, physical clown, very physical. If you have the chance to see him on YouTube, even if you do not understand Italian, it's kind of striking, especially his mimics, his facial mask, so to speak. And but this guy, who then became a movie star. I think he shot like 110 movies, something like that. Used to say, "Our job is the most useless job in the world. Even a carpenter does something useful because at least it stays. But you know, if you're an actor, it's just blabbering words, and it's completely useless. It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever." Now, and that always struck me as you know, as a solid truth, and that's the miracle behind it. If you can make it, you know, if you can make a life out of this, you know, it's very miraculous in a way, because it does not serve any purpose whatsoever. Now you can say no, well, you know, it kind of feeds the spirit and all, you know, all this stuff. But if you're ill, you need a doctor. You don't need an actor, okay? Especially in this period. So you can comment below. You know, the channel is slowly growing. So if you have any comment on what I said right now, just comment below. But this guy, like I said, he was a pro. He had no, how would you say? He had no false ideas on his trade, on his job, and he came from abject poverty. And if you kind of study the people who actually make it in this field, most of them actually come from a poor background. I don't know. Another one I'm thinking about right now is Charlie Chaplin, and so these are people that can take the pain. I mean, and so you gotta ask yourself, first of all, if you want to become a professional actor, especially if you're young. That's not something that they teach you, you know, in drama school or whatever. Is, are you able to take a vast amount of pain in order to get to where you want to go? And at the same time, I know it sounds silly, will you enjoy it? So there's a touch of sadomasochism there, but it is the truth. And that's why I think you need some kind of a higher purpose to actually, you know, get by and have the force to move on despite the difficulties. And I tell you what, if you have it inside of you, sorry, there's a fly here. If you are crazy enough, I always associate being on the stage with being slightly deranged. But once again, what is normality? Sorry, I got a cramp in my hand right here. So if you have it within yourself, well, sooner or later something's going to happen, and it's going to put you to, you know, on that track. Because I've seen everything. You know, I've seen people who wanted to quit, and then they were, because they wanted to, not because they wanted to quit as in, you know, they couldn't take it any longer. They wanted to adapt. They wanted to fit in society. They wanted to, I'll give an example. There's this woman, I won't tell you her name. I remember I was sitting in her kitchen, and she studied at the same theater school where I studied, and she gave me this long tirade on how wrong how wrong. Sorry, it's kind of it makes me laugh. I'll go to the sun for a second. It's getting dark in here. I'm in the shade. No, she basically scolded me because at one point she told me, you know, how is it possible they can live this life? It's you know, it's a hard life. It's impossible. She was going to get married, and basically she wanted to fit in. She didn't want to be, you know, the crazy actress any longer, something like that. Well, anyway, so she said, it's a terrible life. How can you do it? You know, why don't you, you know, get a normal job or whatever? And then eventually, 4 years later, I it's funny. I saw her working for a theater company, and I asked her, hey, what's going on? After, you know, after all you told me, why are you here? Why are you doing this? And so she basically had a quasi-nervous breakdown trying to fit in the normal life of society, you would say. Another woman who I had the pleasure to meet, a puppeteer, a German puppeteer, extremely talented. She decided to go pro after she had a car accident, and she was in a coma for 2 months. She woke up and she said to herself, well, that's it. I think I'm gonna take the leap and become a full-time puppeteer, and she did. So, and she told me this story. We're driving together. She gave me a lift. I was in Germany at the time. She, you know, having this accident was the best thing she that could happen in our life, because sometimes miracles happen, but they're not the sort of luminous, shiny light that pops up in the sky. There may be, even in bad situations, you can have a miracle. Even something bad happens to you, remember this, it may serve a purpose, whether you like it or not. It's a wake-up call, so to speak, okay? And so, yes, I just want to leave you with this thought. Are you able to say the pain, especially if you're young, especially in this period? And you say to yourself, well, you know what? Even if there is COVID, even if the world seems to end, apparently it doesn't. We're gone for, I think, 4 billion years or something like that. That's when the sun, I think, as a star, is going to die out. So you got time ahead of you. Despite everything which is happening right now, I still want to work on the stage or whatever. Well, ask yourself, can you take that pain first of all? Remember, it's a painful route, and you must enjoy it at the same time. So in my case, and maybe one day I'll tell you my story, it was kind of incredible. It's been painful, but boy, I must say that it's kind of made me one of the most balanced people I ever met, and I believe in myself for quite a long time so far. So that's it. Yeah, sorry for the rant. Maybe it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it does. Maybe it's something you needed to hear. I actually don't know. If you got a comment about this, acting is one of the most useless jobs in the world. One of the most useless professions of the world. Just write it below. I'd like to know your take on that. And one day I'm gonna tell you about the difference between being an actor and being a celebrity, because I've seen celebrities literally crumble, once the game became tough. So remember that. Okay, well, I think I've spoken too much so far. Got a beautiful, beautiful sunset here. Here, you can see it behind me. You see the sun there? Okay. And with this sunset, I'm Tom from FISICO, Alba International Physical Theater Festival. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.